How would you like to be able to segment the affluent, the high net worth individuals that you have the opportunity to explore working together, and know ahead of time which ones you're going to be able to work with and serve unbelievably well, and which ones are not going to work no matter what you do? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. This has been invaluable for our coaching clients. You definitely want to understand the 9 high net worth personalities, how to do the segmentation, and most importantly, which ones should you work with. I'm John Bowen, CEO of CED Worldwide, and this is going to be phenomenal.
The CEG Advisor Edge. Essential insights, real results.
Let me do a little framing here. A quote from a Scott Fitzgerald book, which is very famous. Let me tell you about the very rich. They are different from you and me. I got to tell you, I don't know if they're really different from you and me. You might be wealthy as well. But I got to tell you that they are very different from each other. What do I mean by that? I find over and over again when I was an advisor, I had the privilege of growing up professionally. I started in upstate New York, but moved out to Silicon Valley for my professional career as a financial advisor. Kind of the right place, right time, an explosion of wealth. But I very much treated people initially all the same until I met a very good friend and a partner in business, Russ Allen Prince. Russ, many of you might know, he's written over 50 books. I was reading one of his books in the late 80s and then really connected with him in the early 90s. And he wrote about the differences in high net worth personalities. And I thought it was amazing, but I didn't know that we would ever use it. When I had the good fortune to start CEG and we're building out a coaching program, I asked Russ to come in and help me out as head of research. And Russ came in and we had a great debate. I had a director of coaching at that time, Henry Miller, who has since retired, but Henry had helped Tom Peters' group build out their whole program. And you might know Tom from Search for Excellence. And Henry had been a client when I was an advisor, so I had called him up and asked him to help me out. And boy, the three of us just wanted to build this great program. And in this one area, we got a little bit of debate, and it was high net worth personalities talking about the psychographics. Well, I grew up in upstate New York, small town, going psychographics. I don't want that. I want to get results. Everything we do at CEG is results for you, our clients, top financial advisors, and those aspiring. And both Russ and Henry said, just kind of trust us, you'll like it. So we put it in. And I got to tell you, it's been one of the most important parts of our coaching program for helping advisors really segment their clients, both their current and future clients, and who they should focus. Let me show you the personalities, the distribution first, and then I'm going to go over who they are. What you're going to see is, this is the grouping. I'm going to go through them in order. There are 9 high net worth personalities. This is a landmark study Russ did in 2005. Just phenomenal. And I want you to notice this group here, because these are going to be the last ones I'm going to talk about. It represents about almost 15% of the marketplace. These are the most difficult people to work with. But let me walk you through each of these. So if we start family stewards, what are we talking about with family stewards? Well, family stewards are focused on taking care of their family. That's number one. They're conservative, professionally, personally in their life, and they're not very knowledgeable about investing. Now, I want you, as I go through the third bullet of each of these, we'll talk about the investments in the early ones. And one of the mistakes we make as advisors is we want to really impress people with how knowledgeable we are about investment, because most of us, that's their primary driving of income. And when we do that, we make a fatal mistake. That's not what they care most about. They're coming to you not to get an MBA in finance. They're coming to you to make smart decisions about their money to do what's most important to them. In this case, a family steward, it's all about the family. How are you going to help them? Now, they make great clients, and quite honestly, the largest group of financial advisors are family stewards too. So if you have a complementary personality, this is phenomenal. Let's go to the next group. Next group is the independents. And in the independents, let me blow this up a little easier for you to read. What we have, these are the people who want the freedom that money makes possible. It's all about, the lifestyle. It's not money for money's sake. It's money for what they're funding. It's investments really an end to a mean. And they're not interested in the process of wealth management. So when we're engaging with someone like this, and this is the second largest group, it's all about how can we help them achieve what's important to them, having that independence. Very different than, going over mean cross covariance optimization. What about the next? The next group is phobics, and the phobics are an interesting group. They're confused, frustrated by responsibility of wealth. They dislike hanging out with you. They would like to get together about once out of every 20 years. They don't want to go on about investments and wealth management, and they choose you totally on trust. This is critical for you to really get an understanding of this, because phobics, quite honestly, make great clients. They're not very good referral sources because they won't talk about you. But once you've earned their trust, they're going to stay with you. So, these are the first three that I'm sharing with you are the best clients out there. Family stewards are phenomenal because they're really well connected and so on, and they're great also on the referral part as well, providing you introductions. Let's continue this. We also have the anonymous, and these are people who really value their privacy. Confidentiality is a top concern. They're going to choose you based on the privacy. Now, privacy is really important for everyone, but it's more important with them. And they're going to concentrate the assets with you based on this. Now, I worked for a short period in sports and entertainment for a couple of years, and we had one entertainment client who fired an advisor. She came over to us because an advisor had sent information to one of her attorneys over the internet, and she valued privacy so much she did not want that. I mean, the way we solved it was we had a courier, take the information between, and she was much more comfortable. I'm not sure you should. I like 128 key encryption versus a $10 an hour courier. But whatever event, you've got to be able to deal with these issues. And again, they're not very good sources of referrals. Now, moguls are interesting because what moguls are all about is power, control. They really investing to them as a way of getting more power, and they're decisive, rarely look back. They actually make great clients because they move forward very, very quickly. Another group that's a little similar, but instead of power and control, the VIPs, they're interested in status. They want to be able to buy the great affluent lifestyle. Prestige is very important. They want to, and this is where sometimes the wirehouses, the commercial family offices have a better advantage because they're looking for brand names. They want that. And, again, depending on your business, this can be a good marketplace, but oftentimes not for many of the advisors who haven't built that kind of brand and celebrity part. Okay, from there, what we're looking at is the accumulators. And this is the first of the three that I shared are pretty tough. Let me walk you through each of the three components here that we have. They're focused on growing assets, and they're totally investment performance. And what I mean by that is whatever your performance is, they're going to find an asset class that's outperforming you and question you about paying fees. And they're going to always live below their means. These are some of the toughest clients out there. And they're really grinding and so on. And the last three, this is the first of the last three. If you do public seminars, you do direct marketing. This is what's going to come to you. And you've got to make a decision. If quality of life is important in your practice, you probably don't want to work with accumulators. The same, again, depending on your business, gamblers can be really challenging. They're in it for the excitement. They have they're focused on, they're smart. They like to take risk, but they're flavor of the week. And then innovators, can be, depending on what you're doing, can be good clients, but they always want to be on the leading edge, sometimes a bleeding edge. They're very sophisticated, very savvy types. And what I want you to ask yourself, is go through, as we go through each of these different groups and so on that I talked about, which of these clients are right for you? And I'm going to tell you the last three, the accumulators, the innovators, and the gamblers, for most of us aren't the right ones. But focusing on those that are complementary with our high net worth personality, and then being very clear on how we can serve them to achieve what's important for them, this has been so valuable for our coaching clients. I hope it is for you. One of the things that we can do to help you accelerate your success even more is, depending on where you're watching the video, either on one of the sides or below, there's a link for what we call a Best Year Ever consultation. It's taking a look at where you are now, where you want to go, what is the gap, and we'll do that analysis for you. We've had the opportunity to work empirically, all kinds of studies of top financial advisors, as well as rolling up our sleeves in our coaching programs. And we'll identify the three simplest things we would do if we were in your shoes to really accelerate your success and make a huge impact. If you'd like to take us up on this, you have to have a net income of $200,000 or more. You gotta have a strong foundation. But once you have that, go ahead and click on the link and it will open up our calendar. You fill out a little information and open up a calendar so you can schedule an appointment with one of my teammates who will take you through this process. And I got to tell you, it is a remarkable one. You'll see how we nail the client experience. It'll show you how you could do it. But most importantly, it's going to show you how to accelerate your success. And then if it makes sense for us to work together, because we only work with advisors that we can make a huge impact, we'll show you the return on investment you'll get. You're going to be very glad you did. Your clients and your future clients, they're counting on you. Don't let them down. We wish you the best of success.
The CEG Advisor Edge. Essential insights, real results.